What was your absolute worst birthday? During my 18th birthday celebration, my grandmother stood up with her champagne glass and publicly declared to 50 guests that I had 12 months to make her a great grandmother or face complete disownment from the family. My grandmother controlled our family through money and fear. She'd inherited a fortune from her father and used it to dictate every aspect of our lives. Growing up, I watched her destroy relatives who defied her through disinheritance and banishment. She believed women existed solely to produce heirs and considered childless women evolutionary failures. She'd had my mother at 17 and forced mom to have me at 18, part of what she called our sacred feminine duty. Mom never stood up to her, just repeated whatever grandmother said with dead eyes while insisting this was all for our family's future. When she made the announcement, the party guests laughed nervously while I stood frozen. Grandmother presented me with a silver bracelet in front of everyone, clasping it on my wrist. She explained it tracked fertility cycles so she'd know the best times for conception. She'd already arranged her summer program where pre-approved boys from good families would stay on our estate like a debutante season on steroids. Mom stood beside her, smiling emptily, talking about how she'd met my late father through the same program and what wonderful memories she had of her youthful pregnancy with me. That summer, our estate became a breeding ground. 5 suitable boys lived in the guest houses, attending mandatory dinners where grandmother discussed genetic compatibility and family mergers. She monitored my bracelet from her phone, sending alerts during fertile windows with instructions on which boy was where and what to wear. The boys competed for my attention while grandmother offered incentives for whoever succeeded. I felt like a prize mare at auction. Mom helped orchestrate romantic situations, always checking my bracelet's data afterwards. I'd lie to them that I was trying, when really I wasn't getting any more intimate than a handshake with these creepy guys. Grandmother grew vicious, saying my eggs were dying by the day and every wasted month betrayed our bloodline. She started drugging my drinks at dinner, making me drowsy so the boys could get closer. One morning I woke up in the pool house with one of them beside me, my dress torn, no memory of how I got there. When I stumbled out of my room, Mom didn't even look up from her breakfast when she said, "Sometimes we need a little push." When my monthly pregnancy test came back negative, I'd never been more relieved in my life, but I knew they wouldn't give up until they succeeded. The only person I could talk to who wasn't involved in this insanity was the groundskeeper's son, Nathan. He'd worked the estate for 3 years and wasn't part of grandmother's program. We'd talk while he trimmed hedges, and he was the only one who saw me as human instead of breeding stock. "This whole thing is sick," he said one day. "You deserve better than this." I started meeting Nathan secretly in the greenhouse after dark just to talk. For the first time all summer, I could breathe without someone monitoring my fertility or discussing my breeding potential. We planned my escape for next month when I'd have access to my trust fund. Those stolen hours in the greenhouse kept me sane, sitting among the orchids while Nathan told me about normal life outside the estate. He'd even helped me apply to colleges across the country using the greenhouse computer. I'd sneak back to my room before dawn, feeling like a real person again instead of breeding stock. For 3 weeks, I had hope. I counted down the days, packed slowly so no one would notice, and transferred small amounts of money to a new bank account Nathan helped me open. Freedom was so close I could taste it. The night before my planned escape, Nathan texted me to meet him in the pool house instead of the greenhouse, saying it was safer. When I arrived, his whole demeanor had changed. "Your grandmother offered me a full ride to medical school," he said, blocking the door. "All I have to do is get you pregnant tonight." I tried to run, but he grabbed me, explaining how he'd been reporting to grandmother all along, that she'd hired him 3 years ago specifically for this. The greenhouse meetings, the escape plan, all of it had been orchestrated to win my trust. He pinned me against the wall while I screamed and fought. I managed to grab a pool cue and swung it hard into his ribs. While he doubled over gasping, I ran barefoot across the estate to the main house where grandmother's bridge club was meeting, bursting in with my dress torn and dirt under my fingernails. Grandmother calmly told her bridge guests I'd been having episodes since turning 18, but one lady noticed the red marks on my wrists and asked what happened. Before grandmother could answer, Nathan stumbled in holding his ribs, shouting, "She wasn't supposed to fight this hard. You said she'd be dragged." The room went silent as he realized what he'd just admitted. One lady called the police immediately while grandmother screamed that this was a family matter. They found 3 years of payment records to Nathan and contracts for fertility services. Nathan's still serving 10 years. Grandmother died in prison awaiting trial.